Hello and welcome to livealittlehigher.com. We continue with our book, The Hasidic Approach to Joy by Rabbi Shlomo Majewski. In last week we were speaking about how everything comes from us, that our reality really is created from the way in which we perceive the world. If we are negative people, we're going to bring negativity into our lives. If we're positive people, positive energy is going to come into our lives. So everything that happens to us really comes from us. There's a nice quote that says, don't ask God why He did that to you. He didn't do it to you, He did it for you. So in reality, it's a reflection of our state of mind, of the way we speak, of the way we think, of the way we act. And in this way, we bring these blessings into our lives, or we bring things that don't look like blessings. Actually, they are also blessings because they make us change. But we are the architects of our own lives. So here, Rabbi Majewski is talking that there are three phases in this cycle, and one is in our deeds, and the other one is the effect that the activity has in the spiritual realm, and the reflection of the activity within the spiritual realm in our material world. So for example, if someone is not well and he's sick, and a friend decides that he's gonna start doing Tehillim for this friend, and he makes a group that they'll do the whole book of Tehillim, and he puts, 10, 15 people to do a certain number of Psalms every day so they can complete the book. This mercy that the person is giving their friend, and the job he's doing to put all these people together to pray for this person, arouses in heaven this mercy in God. So by the friend doing all this kindness for his friend, he will himself receive the kindness from Hashem. And the Baal Shem Tov explains a similar idea, commenting on the verse, God is your shadow. Literally, the verse tells us that just as a shadow protects us from the sun, God shields us too. And the Baal Shem Tov, however, offers an extended interpretation, explaining that just as a shadow mirrors a person's actions, the nature of the influence that flows from God to the world will be a reflection of the nature of our activity. So a shadow, what we can learn from a shadow, is that it not only protects us, like if you're in the street and the sun is very strong, and then you walk near the building, so the roof creates a shadow and you're walking there, it protects you. But not only that, the movement of the shadow will go in the way that you go. So if you go to the left, the shadow is going to go to the left. If you're going to bend, the shadow is going to bend. So it's a reflection of our own activities. It's to show us our own behavior. And this same idea is reflected in the Maggid interpretation of the Mishnah, to know what is above us, know what is above you, that what is above is dependent on you. So whatever we do in our lives is going to bring that to us. It's going to come to us. And there's a story of a Hasid, of a man that used to follow one of the Rebbes, the Tzemach Tzedek, and his son was very sick, and the doctor said to him, I'm sorry, that there's nothing you can do about this. Your son really is gonna die. There's nothing you can do. And the father was horrified, and he said, no way, I'm gonna go to my Rebbe. And he ran out and he went to Lubavitch to meet the Tzemach Tzedek, the third Lubavitcher Rebbe. And he couldn't deal with his grief, and he came to the Rebbe to request for a blessing from the Rebbe that his son should be healed. And the Rebbe said to him in Yiddish, Trach gut vetzen gut. It's a very famous quote from the Rebbe, and it says, think good and it will be good. So what does this mean? Is if we are positive in our minds, then the outcome is going to be positive. It not necessarily means that it's going to come out the way you want, but your view of it is always going to be positive. In the case of this Hasid, thank God, when he came back home, he was very positive in his head. He was only thinking that his son was going to be healed. He couldn't think about anything else. He said, the Rebbe said, think good and it's going to be good, and I really believe that this is the way it's gonna be. The minute he got home, the doctor said to him, I don't know what happened, but at this hour, your son had a turn for the good. And it was exactly the same hour he had been with the Tzemach Tzedek. So from here we learn that when a person is in high spirits, he functions better. When a person is positive, his whole energy is different. And thinking positively itself brings about positive change. When a person is negative and he's depressed, it's like a dark cloud is on top of his head, nothing good can come out of that, because his thought process is not right. His decisions are not going to be the right decisions. He's going to be acting out of desperation and fear, and the outcome is not going to be a positive outcome. So here it's saying, by envisioning good in one's mind, one creates positive spiritual influence that enables that picture to materialize. So it's true. And this is the basis of the Hasidic explanation of one of the most fundamental principles of Judaism, bitachon. So we've talked about emunah, which is faith, which is to believe in God. But there's a higher level, which is called bitachon, which is to trust Hashem, to really trust God, that everything that happens in your life is for your good, and to know that God knows better than you. And this will help. This confidence in God will help us. And bitachon means more than that. It expresses our trust and confidence that He will actually help. So it's not only to trust that God knows better than us, but also we really trust that He's going to help us. And this is the way we have to go in life. So bitachon is not euphoric escapism, because you could think, okay, a person that has bitachon, maybe he's in denial. He doesn't want to accept the reality. He's in denial. So he's saying here, Rabbi Majewski, that it's not escapism. It does not absolve an individual of taking responsibility for his future and acting accordingly. So in life, you do what you have to do. Like, I started this website of livealittlehigher.com. I'm putting my heart and my soul into it. I learn more. I try to make nice classes. The website is beautiful. It's every week there's something new to learn. And I'm doing my part. What comes out of it, it's in Hashem's hands. So I'm not frustrated if a certain amount of people saw the classes, or I wanted more people to see the classes. I'm not giving up. I'm not getting depressed. I know I'm doing what I have to do. I know I'm living up to who I am. And God willing, with time, I'll get better. But I know that eventually the success of my website is not in my hands, it's in the hands of Hashem. And that bitachon is what keeps me going. Because if not, maybe you would get like, okay, if only 2 people saw the class, then is it worth it to? Yeah, it's worth it. If I can change the lives of one person, it's worth it. If this is something my grandchildren and great-grandchildren are going to see in the future, it's worth it. So I do my part. I do my job. I do the best I can. And the rest is in the hands of Hashem. And I trust that He's going to help me. And that is true bitachon. So here it means that as a person acts, he realizes that his efforts are dependent on God's providence, and he relies on God and trusts Him totally, 100%. And when a person trusts and relies on God, God creates situations that will allow him to use his energies in positive and beneficial ways. So your trusting in God is going to bring into you new energy that is going to allow you to go further away, further, you know what I mean. You're going to be able to do even more. So our positive thoughts serve as catalysts that promote favorable circumstances, not only for me, if I'm a positive human being, but for everybody around me. For you, I'm energizing you, my husband, my children, my friends, the person in the subway that I smile to, or my security guard in my building every morning, that you say a nice thing to them. So it's broader than you think. So now we can appreciate the importance of simha, of being joyful. When a person is genuinely happy and sees things in a positive way, he creates simha. We create simha. So in the spiritual realms, you're also creating simha. Up there, the angels and God and everything that's up there, it's also in good spirits. So everything that happens above really is dependent on you. And the joy that is activated in the spiritual realm is not self-contained. What it means is that it flows outward. It brings joy to many others in the world. When we are besimha in both physical and spiritual way, we bring joy to ourselves, our families, and the people around us. Not only that, when a person is besimha, when a person is joyful, he won't get angry. If someone says something nasty to him, or somebody did something that was not nice, he's gonna be okay with it because he's so happy with life. He feels so good about himself that these things are not gonna make him feel bad. He's just gonna override them. It's not gonna affect him anymore because he's so happy. Why would I ruin my happiness with such that a person said something that was not intelligent or whatever their problem is? So it's not gonna affect you. So it says here that God has chosen to establish a natural order through which He controls our world. Just as there are rules of nature that govern the physical world, around us there are principles of causality that govern the effects produced by our conduct. And everything we do generates an effect in the spiritual realm that in turn produces an effect within our world. And you know what? You see it. The news, so negative, everything's so negative. You see it in the world. But if people would dedicate themselves to bring joy and to bring faith and to bring bitachon, trust in God, and people would go around with a smile in their face and bring joy to others, then the effects of this world would be completely different. And so we have to remember that the power of joy, what we possess, that with simha, with joy within ourselves, we can really change the world around us. Not only ourselves, but everything around us. So I wish you a happy week, besimha week. May your energy be contagious and that those around you feel better just because you're there, and live a little higher. Thank you.